Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Carlton again, and today we are going to work a little bit more with Pythagorean theorem, but we're going to use it for something different today. So let's title our notes, what else, let me move this over so you guys can see, what else can we use Pythagorean. Hopefully you guys are getting used to that word, Pythagorean theorem. I know it's long, but you've hopefully heard it enough or said it enough in the last couple weeks that you're getting used to it. So what else can we use Pythagorean theorem for? Okay, so that's our notes today. And basically, we're going to be looking at the distance between 2 points. Okay, so today we're going to find, so we use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between 2 points on a coordinate grid. Okay, so if I have a coordinate grid and I have some points that I want to find the distance between, okay? So basically, you're going to be working with the piece of graph paper. And I have a piece of graph paper on the Google Classroom if you want to pause the video and print one out, or if you have graph paper at home. Remember, these are just your notes, so if you want to sketch, that's okay too. I'm going to use this dry erase board and just kind of sketch something out. Now, if we were back in the classroom, I have like a pull down coordinate grid. I don't think I've used it a whole lot, maybe a couple times in class. So you guys haven't got to see that a whole lot. I normally pull that down and kind of surprise everybody. So we're not going to do that today, but I have this dry erase that looks like a grid board. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my X and my y-axis. So remember, it's just a sketch, so it's not a big deal, okay? And let's find the distance between 2 points. Let's do point 1, comma 4 and 5, comma 1. All right, so remember, the first number tells us how far to move side to side. Second number tells us how far to move up and down. So for my first point, I'm going to go over 1 and up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my first point. My second point is 5, 1. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1. Okay, so what I'm doing is I want to find the distance between those 2 points, okay? Now, you can't just count because you can't count in a diagonal. And we've learned through working with these right triangles that diagonals have longer sides than the 2 legs, right? So if you look at each one of these as like little squares, you can see that the diagonal of those would be a little bit longer. So to find the distance there with our Pythagorean theorem, what we're going to do is draw a triangle. And you can draw your triangle below the 2 points or up above. It doesn't matter. Your triangle will be the same size either way. So now that we have a triangle and we can see that it's a right triangle, you have to draw a right triangle, we can use our favorite Pythagorean theorem, okay? So let's count this leg would be 1, 2, 3. So 3 for that leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 for that leg. So you might remember that this is one of our popular special triangles. If I'm going to set this up like Pythagorean theorem, I have 3 squared plus 4 squared, because that's the 2 legs, right? Remember, it doesn't matter if you put the 4 first, that's okay. And it will equal c squared, because that's what we're looking for, is this long side here. That's the c. So 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16, still equal to c squared. We don't know what that is yet. So I'm going to add together 9 and 16 is 25. Still c squared, so remember to get 25 is not the answer yet. That's too high because that's c squared. We have to find c. So we have to take the square root of 25 because remember c is squared, so the opposite of that would be to take the square root. Does anybody know the square root of 25? 5. Okay, so that means this length is 5. Okay, so basically it's the exact same thing that you've been doing the last couple of weeks. The only difference is that now we have to draw that triangle. So we're going to start by plotting points, drawing the triangle, and then using Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so it's a lot of doing what you've already done, but now it's like an application problem. All right, so you can push that off to the side. Let's write out first our steps, okay? Steps to find difference. So we're going to write this out, and then we're going to try it some more. So steps to find distance. Okay. All right, now I've got this broke down into 5 steps, but they're all short. But if you follow the steps one at a time, it's going to make this procedure seem really easy, okay? Step 1, plot both points. Plot both points. Now remember, when you plot the points, you have an X and a Y, right? X tells you how far to move side to side. The Y tells you how far to move up and down. So the first number goes side to side, second number is up and down. Second, draw a line to connect your points. Draw a line to connect points. Okay. Step 3, you're going to create a right triangle by sketching vertical and horizontal lines. Okay. So draw a right triangle by sketching. How do you spell sketching? Is that right? Yeah, that looks right. Okay. By sketching vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, everybody with me? Don't forget, you can pause the movie. Like if I'm going too fast on the notes, you can pause the movie. It's kind of difficult because we're in class. I can kind of gauge, how everybody's doing. But here, when it's me by myself, I'm writing so I get some idea, but I tend to go a little bit too fast. So if it's too fast, just pause the movie and write it out. All right, next, count boxes to label the leg lengths. Those two sound a lot alike. To label the leg lengths. So that's going to be our A and B. Okay. Finally, the last step, number 5, use Pythagorean theorem to solve for C. Let's abbreviate our Pythagorean theorem here. Pythagorean theorem to solve for C. Okay? All right, so that's our 5 steps. So now we're going to try this, okay? So you need your graph paper again. All right, let's draw. I'm going to get my X and Y grid here again. Oh, that one was straighter than the first one, huh? And let's do these 2 points. Let's do the point 2, 1 and 5, 4. 2, 1, 5, 4. Okay, so we're trying to find the distance between these 2 points. All right, so first step, plot both points. All right, so I have 2 points that I need to plot. So 2, 1, remember the x goes first, so I'm going to go over 2 and up 1. Second point, 5, 4 means I go over 5 and up 4. So over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over. And then now I got to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so here is my line. So the line's going in a different direction than the last one, right? That's okay. It doesn't matter which direction it goes because you're going to draw your triangle. So that's our next step. Well, actually, I did step 2 already. Draw a line to connect points. That was step 2. So we got that, right? Next, step 3 says draw a right triangle by sketching vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, so here we go. If I am going to draw a triangle, you can do it down below or up above. I think this time I'll go up above because last time I went down below. Okay, now if you wanted to do one down below, that would be okay too. You can see that it looks the same. The measurements are going to be the same, all right? So let's do the next step, which says count boxes to label the leg lengths. So this is going to be A and B. 1, 2, 3. So this side is 3 units. 1, 2, 3. This side is also 3 units. So what I'm missing is the hypotenuse is C. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve that. A and B, remember, are those 2 legs. That's 3 and 3. So we have 3 squared plus 3 squared equals C squared. Okay, now I can simplify those numbers. 3 to the second power is 9. Plus 3 to the second power is 9. This over here is still C squared. All right, let's add this up. 9 plus 9 is 18, still equal to C squared. Now you're going to need your calculator because remember 18 is not a perfect square and we need to find the square root, so you'll need a calculator at this point. So to get C by itself, we have to take the square root of 18. Okay, and the square root of 18, go ahead, punch that into your calculator, see what you get. We end up with about 4.2 for C. Okay, so the distance for that leg, or that hypotenuse, is 4.2. So the distance between those 2 points we just found using Pythagorean theorem. Okay? All right, I have one that I want you to try on your own. All right, let me erase this. So try this on your own. Hopefully you guys are drawing your graphs. You'll have to do that on the assignment today, is to draw the graphs. So it's good practice. All right, let's draw our X and Y coordinates. Most of the worksheets, I think, already have the X and Y coordinate on there for you. You just have to remember how to plot the points. Okay, let's try this one. So this time your 2 points. The first one is -3, 4. The second point is 4, -2. All right, so go ahead, pause the movie. I want you to try this one on your own. I'll do the points to get everybody started. -3, remember, goes back. So we got to go back. 1, 2, 3, and then up. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our first point. This one is 4, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I got to go down 2. So there's our 2 points. So we're looking for the distance between those 2 points. So go ahead, pause the movie, try it out on your own, see what you come up with. Okay, did everybody pause and do the problem on your own? So let's go through and see how we did. So this is our step 2, drawing the line. Oh, I didn't go very straight there, did I? All right, so we're drawing the line between these 2 points, and we want to find the distance. So we're going to draw a triangle. Remember, you can do up above or down below. This one's going to be a little bit bigger triangle than our other ones. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. There's our right triangle. So now let's count the side lengths so we can get our legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this side is 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This leg is 7 units. Okay, so that's the 2 leg lengths. So that's what we're going to use to find the distance from here to here. This is the missing piece is C. All right, so we're going to plug it into our Pythagorean theorem. 6 squared plus 7 squared equals C squared. Now remember at this point, oops, sorry guys, if you had these 2 things switched around, that's okay, because A and B, it doesn't matter which one you use for A and which leg you use for B, because you end up adding them together anyway. So the order can be switched. All right, so let's simplify our numbers. This is 36, 6 to the second power. 7 to the second power is 49. Over here, we still have C squared. When we simplify, we add these 2 things together, and we get 85 equal to still C squared. Now, 85 is way too big, right? That's not going to fit here in this triangle because it doesn't go with our other numbers. That helps us remember that that's not the last step yet. In order to get C by itself, we have to take the square root of 85. So use your calculator and you find the square root of 85 is 9.2. Okay? So that fits if I plug 9.2 over here, because that does make it the longest side and it kind of goes with the other 2 sides, so it works well. All right? All right, so that's just another thing that we use Pythagorean theorem for, okay? So that's your notes for today. Now let's talk about what you're going to do. Now, this is our first lesson of the week. This is May 18th, or you may be using May 19th, okay, depending on when you're watching the movie. And this is lesson 6, right? So let's see here. Yep, lesson 6 today. So today you're going to do lesson 6. So we did lesson 6. We already did the notes, right? If you need to go back and watch the video, you can. Or there's a copy of the notes also. Oh, look, I'm over too far. Sorry. I don't have anybody in class to tell me when I'm off the screen like I do in school. That's nice. Everybody's polite and they handle that well. Sorry. Anyway, lesson 6, the notes. So next you're going to do a worksheet. I have, I think, 3 worksheets for you to choose from. 3rd and 4th hour, I want you to do the last one listed. It says steps for distance because that has an example for you to follow, okay? And then you're going to do the self-assessment. Okay, so self-assessment for lesson 6. That's all I'm giving points for right now is the self-assessment because that tells me how you did on your homework. All right, so this, remember, is for today or tomorrow if you're watching it on Monday or on Tuesday. Now, lesson 7 we're going to do later in the week is another way to find distance, but we use a formula. And then that's going to be it for distance. So at the end of the week, we're going to have a quiz on distance. Okay, so similar to last week, you'll have a quiz this week on distance, and you'll get your score in the Google Classroom, just like you did last week. Okay? All right, I think that's about all that we have for you for today. I was trying to put together a Google Classroom activity for our next Google Meet, and I had a couple people send me their trivia questions. I want you to send me a trivia question about yourself. So like an example would be, one of my questions was, which college did I go to for my bachelor's degree? And the answer was U of M Dearborn. Okay, Just give me any kind of question, anything about yourself. It can be school related, personal related, hobbies, family, anything at all. Just a question and the correct answer. And then I will make up a trivia game that we can play during the Google Meet. Okay? All right. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you on Wednesday.